Yeah.
I see on my screen Kate Doyle Henderson's little logo or screen capture, and I really like it.
It's cute.
It's really good. Man, it's been a good couple of weeks of production. Last week was one of the top 5 or 6 weeks of all time, and I think we may have ended up beating it this week, and there still may have been a little bit of missing premium, right? Because we like to look at stuff on the submit side, which is why it's always important to remind everyone to enter your stuff in correctly, tag it to a lead, do everything that you can, because it helps with our data. We're getting better and better at that. But Casey, what do you attribute massive back-to-back weeks for? It's one thing, all of our weeks in the past, I think if you went back and you tracked every record week that we've had as a company, I think you'd be surprised that the vast majority of them come in the last week of the month.
Yep.
Why do you think that is? Well, we know why that is. Because people are kind of fighting for raises, recognition, and all the things. But what would happen if you started your month that way?
Seems
a lot of people, this week,
this past week. That's right.
Yeah, a lot of people are kind of getting ahead of the curve. So
yeah, just love how predictable this business is. It's been that way since I can remember. 20 some years ago now, Brandon, that we started this thing. 13 years. Was it 13 years ago now for the company?
Yeah,
so predictable. It's just the amount of leads that you get out and the amount of recruits and riders that you have to allocate them to. So if you're out there in your building, and even if you're on the front edge of that, brand new, like just the predictability of this business, it's so awesome to know, like, if I put this amount of work in and I have 10 agents and I can get X amount of leads out, then it's going to spit out this much production.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome. So what we're seeing,
producer too, right?
We're seeing, I think, the metrics just play to our favor with the amount of leads that we're getting them out, the amount of recruits that are coming into the company. And then I also just think, obviously, it's all of you guys out there in the trenches, fighting for what you're fighting for, so keep it up, keep that big mo rolling.
No doubt. And Brad may have talked about some of this. Brad, if you're still there, you may have stepped away real quick. But if you're there, unveil, I've got some questions for you. Did you guys talk on the last call at all about the recent advisory board meeting that we just had?
We didn't.
So without talking about too much, because there's a lot of things that are still in process of kind of getting ironed out, but what was your overall thought and feel? It'd been a little while since we'd had an advisory board meeting. I think the last one maybe that we'd had in person, we'd had several of them virtually, but the last one we had in person may have been, was it for the COVID, right before COVID?
Yeah, that was the last one before you guys announced to not do the cruise ship and to go virtual. It was like, that's some huge change after the last one. Yeah.
Yes. So what were your thoughts, man? Just overall, how did you feel like that 2 days went?
I felt like we needed even more time than 2 days, but it was the most productive advisory board meeting that I can remember personally. Yeah. There's just a lot of really good stuff that we talked about, and some really great positive things that I think are going to come out of that too.
Yeah, no, I agree. Some changes are coming, obviously, but I think all positive changes. And I think when you guys got to kind of see where we were on either with, bonus changes or destinations changes, things of that nature, I think you kind of liked what you saw. At least that was the feeling 100%. There. Now we are a week later, still like what you saw and heard.
100%. Yeah.
Exciting.
It is exciting.
And I think it's such a cool thing. One of the things that Casey and I are probably most proud of with the company is that there is an advisory board, and that there is a board of your peers that are helping to make the decisions that really shape the company. So
that's powerful, man. I mean, think about the competitors out there over the last 10 years that have, made decisions in a vacuum at the very top without input, without feedback, without, an advisory board to kind of help, make sure that we're making decisions that are going to be good for, and that's the DNA of our company. Brandon and I came from a company that's what was happening. Where decisions were just made in a vacuum and no input was offered from the very people out there selling insurance and working leads and, getting the bonuses and that kind of thing. So to have a board of peers that shapes the company, I mean, that's a big reason for our success. I mean, if you look at how this company has grown and evolved over 13, 14 years, it's been in very big part to the advisory board.
Yeah.
And the willingness of our team and culture to come in, and Brad, you come in and spend 2 days with us, and that's, energy and time and money and resources that you and, how many ever 10 or 12 other advisory board members put into this company. So I think everyone out there, next time you see an advisory board member or a legacy advisory board member, give them a high five.
Yeah, I mean, I just have to tell you, I could not be more grateful that you guys do listen. You do have an advisory board. Chris Clark and I were just talking about this recently, that we could have ended up in a company with completely different leadership, and we'd be stuck. Like people with big egos and think that they know everything and take a company in a direction that's not the best for the field and for the agents. And, from day one, I felt like you guys think about the agent first. And I'm so grateful that you guys have that approach to business. So thank you.
Buddy.
Appreciate that, buddy.
Yeah, appreciate that. I think Casey and I were in the field for a really long time.
Yep.
Much longer than we'd like to admit, maybe. So we do know what it's like. I tell you, it's a different ballgame now, though. I can't imagine the virtual aspect of things. And, I was thinking about this the other day, Casey. Just Meredith and I were talking about how many states that I had to work and sell insurance in, because if you turn on a lead order somewhere, you better make sure that somebody was there to back it up, because if not, you were just paying for leads that weren't working. So there were times you had to do that too. But I mean, not only North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, but
driving and flying all over
Connecticut and Massachusetts, and Montana. Montana was probably my favorite. Washington State, Oregon. I mean, it goes on and on. But
Brandon, think about how much we spent, easily as much, if not a lot more, on recruiting and building in markets. Because if we knew we wanted to get a foothold anywhere but Asheville, well, we've got to figure out how to be there more, and we've got to get in front of our people more. And now with the borders dropped, you can hire as many people in Asheville as you want. And that's why you hear Brandon and I kind of circle back to the idea of, a little bit more of a brick and mortar model, where you guys are teaming up and creating hubs and creating really good hotspots, where you have a Friday meeting, you have a Saturday phone, or whatever the structure is, but you just have a place to connect in one spot, and that could be as big as you want it to be.
Yeah, man, you could have 200 agents in your backyard. Yep.
It's such a different world,
It's such a different world, and I hope that everyone's taking advantage of it. Because we've said this a couple of times this year. I think the comfort of being at home and working solely from home is just that. It's a comfort, and growth doesn't happen when you're in your comfort zone. And I think a lot of times I think the opposite begins to happen, because socialization, connection, all those things are a muscle that you have to work. And if you don't get out enough and you don't do the things that maybe you were accustomed to doing, it can be a lonely business, and there's nothing you can really do about that other than make sure that you're around people that are lifting you up and are positive, right? Because you're still going to get told no a lot when you're making your money. Agents are still going to let you down if you're building an organization. Clients are going to cancel their policy. All the things that are going to happen are still going to happen. So what are you doing on a daily and weekly basis to connect with people that are for you and that are there to help you get to where you want to be? I think that's a secret weapon for the largest organizations that we have. All of them, have the ability to connect, and they have this team unity and team atmosphere that is so good, because people want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. I think it's crucial in this business. So
And that, and again, that can be done virtually too. We're seeing that on a massive scale. I mean, how
Sure.
many team huddles you guys do virtually, and
Yeah.
how before the pandemic, were we even doing the national calls on Zoom? Or was it still old school, blanks, just via
remember.
phone? I think it
I
was.
remember the first time I came on board, Casey, it's like 3.5 years ago, and you guys were out of town for the first time. And I had to go over to the Beacon property.
Yep.
And the stack of papers y'all gave me to read the leaderboards was this thick. And I was just sitting there in my car for an hour and a half, stumbling through about 700 pages of leaderboards.
We've come a long way.
Yeah, it was still a phone call. Cicely confirmed that. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember you, and for some reason I think it was before COVID, but I remember you having the idea that we need to do or make our calls virtual. And I would trust Cicely on this. She's probably right.
It might have been right before it, but yeah,
it was not long before it, if anything, for sure.
Yeah, it was right around the same time.
But I think it was really cool in that advisory board meeting, just going back to that. It's so important for us to continue to huddle up because we're going through such an evolution. And as we evolve things, processes and systems and, how we deal with certain situations need to continue to evolve as well. And I was just really blown away at how open people were to changing their minds, which seems to be like a really different thing than is happening everywhere else out there. Certainly if you turn on the news, nobody agrees with anything, right? But just in general, people like to have an opinion, state that opinion, stick to that opinion, and it's really hard to change. And what I loved about that room is you could see people's willingness to change. I think you said something a couple of months ago, Casey, on one of these calls that I really liked, and I hope that people can adopt it more. You said, I look forward to being wrong. I want to be wrong. Now, I want to be wrong because that means that someone else has convinced me that I was wrong and there's a better way. And generally the better way is that I'm right.
Yep.
Or that I get to become right. Right.
Yep.
And if I can agree that I was wrong, that means that I'm moving forward. So I think there's so much wisdom and leadership in that, that you have the ability, that everyone has the ability, that whole advisory board wanted to come to the table and say, I'm open to being convinced that I'm not doing things right or that there is a better way of doing things,
Yeah.
And I think that's a sign of a really, not only a good leader, but it's also a sign of just a really healthy culture. So kudos. And that could maybe be your lesson of the week if you're looking for one. Anybody out there, how open to you are being wrong? How open to you being wrong politically?
In all facets. I mean, it's like
It's everything, right?
One of the favorite things, and I think I talked about this on that call you were talking about, is just this idea. I remember hearing it on a TikTok or something probably, which is like, think about the last time you were wrong about something and how that felt, and you might say, well, it was embarrassing or a hit to the ego, but it really didn't feel like that. It may have felt like that, once you figured out you were wrong, but 2 minutes before that point, when you thought you were right, it felt like being right. So being right feels exactly like being wrong. Right? So when I heard that, I was like, yeah, that is so true.
Makes sense.
It just forces you, I think it forced me to just soften up a little bit and don't dig my heels in on things that I think I'm so right about, because it's a lot easier to flip-flop a little bit and to be convinced when you just approach it with a little more openly and say, I'm open to being wrong here. This is just how I feel now,
It's a great way to start a conversation too. It's a great way to disarm it,
Yeah,
it really is. And here's another good trick for you. That's a great way to open it. And then if you're in the middle of it, or if you're at the end of it, another great thing to do is say, that's a very interesting way to look at it. You mind if I sit with that for a little while?
Yeah.
I don't want to have to be perfect in the moment, or even sometimes good in the moment. I need to, be able to have some time to kind of sit and process what I'm being told. And I think that's a hard thing to do as well. But I think if you have these little tricks that Casey's talking about, that I'm talking about, then it does make things much easier. Let yourself off the hook a little bit.
Yep.
All right, man, we got a lot of good stuff to cover, and I'm going to go ahead and start with some leaderboards.
You guys have the Watkins and Ellison show for the most part today, but B-Dubs, Spivey, Brad.
Yeah.
That's why we have some good things to talk about, but we kind of wanted this to be y'all's call today. So if, there's questions and stuff that you've really on your mind and we have a few minutes, we'll try to dig into some of them. So don't be afraid to hit the chat with some questions.
Yeah. You said it, man. Top new writers for the week. I tell you, these top 3 names they're tough. If I wasn't a seasoned pro, I would struggle with this. But what a seasoned pro does is he just reads the top one.
Mm-hmm.
And I could potentially screw that one up too. Arkitha Reed is my guess on that one, but it's a monster week. Right. I hope to definitely know for sure if that's your name. And I will if you do at least $8,857 again this week. Oh man, look at these production numbers. Caitlin Cordito Reese, $31,656. Ashley Richards still in her run to try to do 100,000. It was 100,000 a month for 3 months in a row, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I think she nailed it on the first month. And then Rasim Tugbert is he's a monster always.
Poor Benjamin Doak back there.
He thought he had a good one.
16.8. That'll be good for 10.
Yeah.
That's wild, isn't it? How different
that is a wild one.
Yeah.
You did 16,800
years ago,
Yeah, you were probably getting a trophy at some point. A lot of people with 13 applications, but only Ashley Richard had 30. 30. I bet there's no one more excited about the EAP transformation and a lot of this digital work than like an Ashley Richard or a Misty Cintron that's for sure some pain if you have to do all of this with that.
Yeah.
Adele Vincent, top med sup writer for the week. Kyle Purdy, how about that name? Number 1 DI producer for the week.
Nice.
I could get used to
block over there.
I could get used to calling that name out more often. I like that. Monster IUL weeks. Caitlin Cordito Reese, $42,000 in IUL premium. If you're asking yourself, how do I get more of that? Ask your manager, how do I get in on that? You gotta get certified, probably got to get some leads, and then you got to go help some people.
Yep.
That's how it works. Same with this. Hallie Walker, $800,000 in annuity volume for the week. We doubled annuity volume from 22 to 21 to 22 rather. I would like to double again this year. I think we can. Got some new stuff working on that end too. Top DFL writer for the week. Look how close it was between Jonathan and Floyd. Jonathan Alkin took it though, 17,579. Way to go. Top base shop new writer, Jamie Susie, and in the directs was Jamie Susie with 13. Well done. Top base shot was Devin Johnson. Top direct, that's for SNAs. Top direct SNAs, 3-way tie with Jordan Hunt, Mike and Sarah Pappas, and John Ziller. It's the name of the game. Are you converting? And Todd Spivey, we will let you recognize our SNAs for the week.
Congratulations to these agents for getting 6 apps in their first 6 weeks with Symmetry. And we've got Ariel Bowie, Brianna Wilson, Christian Burleson, Destiny Howard, Donna Wilson, Jack Hoffey, Jason Springfield, Jessica Corbell, Kelsey Elbrecht. You didn't like that one, Brandon. Was it pretty good?
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
Kenneth Searcy, Mark Reynolds, Maria Brewster, Philip Russell, Rodney Harris, Ronnie West, Stacy Brown, Timothy Sifford, and Rebecca Irie.
I mean, I would be inclined to give you 100 on that. I didn't hear any that I would.
Elbrecht. I don't know about that one.
I think you nailed it. Take a bow.
Yeah, take a bow, please, sir. Well done. Key leaders for the week: Jennifer Giovanni, first place in production, Michael Block in recruits, and Christina Watts in new writers. Way to go, everybody.
Yeah.
Well done. Top AO is Ashley Richard with 48,288. Jerry Choate with 10 recruits, and Kelly Bush with 6 new writers.
Hey, Brandon, go back one slide right quick. All right. Noticing we advertised last week, and we're going to do it again at the end of this call. If you see your name and you do not have a headshot, stay tuned. We're going to have an opportunity for you to get your headshot in there. And I feel like we're doing a lot better at filling in our circles these days.
I think so too. Listen, what used to work really well is just start putting funny pictures in there. So I'd say starting next week, give the marketing team the green light to put funny photos in if we don't have a headshot. I'm going the wrong way. Sorry, going backwards. All right. Top agency director, Mark Newbauer. He's on the boom, man. I just saw some numbers from him. Cook shared with us.
Yep.
Recruiting well, too. Way to go. Sarah Reinecke with 16 recruits and 14 new writers. Somebody is converting. Love it. Top regional agency director, Eileen Balmer. Jimenez with the top recruits, and Susie with the top new writers. Way to go, Seuss. Boom. Chris Cook.
Boom.
Way to
On
go,
a
buddy.
tear.
On a tear. John Ziller's stomaching it. He doesn't like it. I'm going to get a text any minute now. Those two love to talk some trash to each other. T-Cap is the top senior vice president. Mike and Sarah Pappas with 13 recruits and 7 new writers. I tell you what, Papa, you keep that up. Watch out. Watch out. I ain't kidding. Top executive vice president is the Mank Tank. He's a good one. The Mank Tank with 20 recruits and 8 new writers. It's another turkey. Hat trick. You think Mank would prefer a hat trick or a turkey?
Turkey.
I think so. Lynn Watkins, 6. Ooh, it's kind of mark of the beastie a little bit. We should probably 6, 6, 6, 7, 40.
Hank's already moved down to Florida. I don't know that he's really into hockey anymore, you know?
The Mank Tank. There's hockey in Florida. Didn't they win the Stanley Cup last year?
There's hockey. I'd say it's not as readily available for him to participate in.
That's fair, but I think they may have won the Stanley Cup. I don't know. Y'all let us know in the chat. Who won the Stanley Cup last year? Lynn Watkins with a turkey leg. Way to go. Top senior partner is Danny Young. Top recruiting senior partner is Danny Young, and 15 new writers for Danny Young.
Nice.
Way to go, man. That's the turkey leg of turkey legs so far. We got 3 of them. Look at Waylon. Marshall, send me a text. Is this a record week for Marshall? 1.321. It's got to be close, man. That is a monster week. Well done, team Waylon. 128 recruits, 58 new writers for a 4th turkey. Way to go, man. It's time for us to come up with a 1-up or 2-up or probably 4-up levels of leadership. Spivey and B-Dubs, y'all add that to our advisory board discussions because we got too many people sitting at the top. Top direct this week was KP. JP is the top recruiter. And Jamie Susie with the top new writers. Well done. I love seeing that on Kevin Purdy too. You got to keep reminding yourself that he broke out 3 directs last year and is still sitting at the top of the directs board.
So awesome.
So awesome. Hemi, he predicted it. He said it would be so, and it is. Congratulations on the top base shop for the week. Jamie Susie for the recruits and writers. Well done. Who needs more leads? Casey, the key to writing more business. See, if everybody were to just make a decision right now that between today and next Wednesday, you were going to have a record week of production. I know we normally go Saturday to Friday. So maybe just think you're setting yourself up for next week or this week, whatever. It all starts with more leads. And we have all the call-in leads right here. If you want to get more of them, all you do is put your order in. I think we have every state that begins with the letter M, and Nebraska, Indiana, Kentucky, Pennsylvania, Hawaii, and Wisconsin. Is there another state that starts with the letter M?
Montana? Is that in there?
Good point. That's your point. Well done.
Nicely done, Casey.
That was quick too. There will be a directs only call Thursday. Is that tomorrow? It is tomorrow.
No,
2 Eastern.
that is the wrong date.
I thought it was going to be next week. 2/9 is not the right date. So whatever that
Nor the date. It will be Thursday, the 16th.
Thursday, 16 at 2 p.m. Eastern. Be on the lookout for a meeting link, but put it in your calendar. You're going to want to be there. Advanced market leads are now available. You got to have a Razor Ridge and Switchboard account, minimum of 5 leads to go per order, and you got to be DFL or IUL certified. You can get certified at Quility U. Right there's the info, and then leads are available at razorridgelead.com. Top 20 leaderboards. This is just for the qualification to enter into the Fall Classic. Okay. Check in HQ. You can see the top 200 because that's who we're taking for. This is a chance to win $100,000. And right now, you're also in the line just in the qualification period to get some lead credits. Okay. Rex Knight Jr. The Edward kind of threw me off there for a second. Rex Knight Jr. is sitting at the top right now. Ashley Richard kind of chomping right behind. And then here's your top 20. All right. But you can check out HQ for all the details. Do not find yourself at 201. Don't do it. This is exciting stuff, Spivey. Switchboard sites, formerly Owner Circle sites, launching to all agents on Switchboard, available now in your Switchboard marketplace. This is really exciting.
Going live today.
Going live today, baby.
Let's
So
go.
anybody that missed the call last week, what did they miss? What do we need to talk about? Here we go. Premium features also available, $42 a month subscription. What have we added and upgraded? Owner Circle sites have migrated into your Switchboard accounts, including the custom domain for your site, automation and calendar integrations to nurture leads and move them through the sales pipeline, 24/7 chat widget that I love that allows you to easily capture leads. Direct to consumer is now included within the base subscription of Switchboard sites. So we're moving, baby. A lot of good stuff. I saw a text came through from Palmer last night with a couple of agents that were sharing screenshots of recruiting leads that were being nurtured through this program. And it was really cool finding themselves on their calendars. So if you are not a member of this, talk to your manager, talk to your upline and see if you should be. I imagine they will say yes. Had several people picking up some direct consumer applications last week. That number is growing every single week as well. So well done. Spivey, you got the Ripple ladies coming on board with you later this next week.
Yeah.
This
week.
It is this week.
This Friday. One of my favorite episodes that I've been able to be a part of so far. I had a blast.
Yes.
Meredith and Whit, we all laughed until we about cried filming this episode. And then just to see the true heart and intent of the company and the leaders of the Ripple model and where we're going as a company on this platform is just, it's next level. I've been a part of some really cool organizations and some Fortune 100 companies in the pharmaceutical world, guys. And I've never in my time experienced anything like I get to here with the investment and the intentionality we have to grow in ourselves to be bigger and better people and to continue to find ways to give back as a company. And I think you're going to see the true heart of that come out in this episode. So be sure to tune in and also look forward to seeing everybody that watches live. We'll have Meredith and Whit and myself will be on there answering questions in the chat as it airs. So look forward to seeing everybody on.
Love that. I'm getting some interesting texts over here. First off, yes, Waylon did celebrate a record. So I'll give him a round of applause. That's a massive one. Celebrating a record when you're sitting at the top is a good one. Also, one of our leaderboards is being questioned. And I don't think they're questioning the leaderboard. They're questioning how I read it out.
Saw that.
Marlon Faulkner says that he tied Chris Cook, which would mean that Cook is not eligible for a turkey leg. Marlon, what was the tie? Was it recruiting or riders? We'll wait to hear. I knew that we were going to get into some controversy today, though. I just felt it. Everything was running way too smoothly.
Controversy.
You know, a conversation with Whit and Brian, Inside Out to Outside In, March 9th. at 2:30 p.m. Mark your calendars to go over the Ripple model. B-Dubs, anything that you want to talk about this? Says it all right there.
I think the bright, cheery yellow background and the positive vibe you're getting from the slide says it all. Yeah, this is it's gonna be good talking about maturing as leaders.
Yes.
Let's do
Love it.
Me too.
Um,
By the way, well, why since you gave me the floor, I want to just play the world's smallest violin for Marlon as he, just had to highlight his little tie over there. He's right. I just want to give him a little extra love.
I have a soft spot for Marlon. I would say something, funny about
Sure.
football, accepting ties, wanting to be a tie. I can't say that anymore of those five. You know why?
Because they beat us by 40 in basketball a couple weeks ago.
Well, that was a problem for sure.
Yeah.
I wasn't anywhere close to a tie. But to be fair, we were emotionally spent because one of our players had shot and killed someone earlier. So not sure that makes it any fairer. It makes it much worse, doesn't it? No, that's not what I was going to say. Marlon actually has a child going to the University of Alabama.
Oh, wow.
What?
That's right.
Dang.
Let's go.
He does not have to change his they're so big into color wheels and stuff these days. I wonder if part of that decision was that he would not have to necessarily change his colors a lot.
That sounds like a
wear
decision, yeah.
Right?
Cool. That's really cool.
Isn't that cool? Congratulations, buddy.
Yeah.
That is very awesome.
Yeah.
My previous boss, Brandon, one of my favorite dinners ever. It was about 10 years ago. I was sitting there at a dinner and my boss in pharmaceuticals looked at me and said, "There's no chance in hell you would ever catch my daughter at the University of Alabama." Fast forward 3 years later, graduate and valedictorian of the University of Alabama.
Wow.
They all eventually come around.
They do.
That's funny.
What you resist persists. Just open your heart. Everybody take a second and you can, is what we're supposed to do? Is like you can hit this little barcode with your phone and then you can upload your.
That's right. If you just saw your name on the leaderboards, or if you have plans in the very near future to be on the leaderboards and you're new with us and you would like to have your beautiful headshot shown and not have Brandon pick out a goofy internet picture, which you will forever be associated with.
I like that.
Or cause just ridiculous damage to your reputation moving forward. You just want to avoid this.
I don't think it'd be that bad. That is scaring them though. The fear is a good tactic, I will say.
Get your cameras out and pull up the QR code and get our team in a headshot so we can proudly display the beautiful mugshot that you select, and don't let us do it for you.
I kind of want to change my headshot now.
I'm going to change mine.
I don't know. Mine's pretty good, actually. See, I got a little Quigley there, but he's just a little small and boxed in. Lindsay, I'm going to put you in charge of that. She's next door. You're a better Quigley than my headshot. All right. Ooh.
There we go. Been waiting on that slide.
Yes. If you haven't registered, you need to. How would give me your best promotion of this, Casey? You're a good promoter.
Well, I mean, the actual, thank you for that. The summit aspect, so it's two parts. The summit is on the 21st and the spring fling festivities begin on the 22nd. The summit is going to be action packed in the theater, Dinah Wortham Theater, I believe, in Asheville. And it's, that's qualify. You got to qualify to hit that. So key, I can't remember is it key leader? Yeah, you got to hit key leader numbers and higher, right?
Yep.
And we're actually working on the information content for that right now. And, with as much transformation as happening right now, this is a pivotal time for the leadership to be together. So got to make that. And then the fun part the next day, not that the first day is not going to be really fun too, we're going to have a blast, but the second part is shaping up to be really awesome. We got a live band. It's at a brewery. We got volleyball tournaments starting to take place. We have cornhole tournaments. We have disc golf. What else did Pam say yesterday? Good food, all kinds of stuff.
Yes,
That's gonna be really fun.
indeed.
Really looking forward to that one. So just, want to make sure all you guys are focused on getting your team focused on hitting those requirements to get the invite to this. Let's pack it out, because this is what's going to spring us into a big Denver conference.
Yes, it is.
Sell out that theater, sell out every seat, and force us into overflow is the game plan.
Love that. We got some nice headliners we're working on now too. So
yes,
you'll like it. Upcoming events for the week. Columbus Life, Beyond the Illustration, Understanding Pricing Levers. Let's talk about good at promoting. I mean, I don't know if I picked that title out, but way to go, Columbus Life. Jeff Sigworth doing an FIF resets call, DFL 101 on Friday, and then an FIF resets and advanced markets webinar Tuesday, Valentine's Day. Is there any better place to share Valentine's Day date with your sweetheart than get Jeff Sigworth and Nick Burks?
that's right.
I was just fitting to say about Siggy, man, that guy is gonna, I mean, he already is, but can you imagine every time I walk past his office, he is training, coaching. He's going to be like the leading expert in the world on all things advanced market. If he's in the top 5 already.
He's already in the top 5. I agree.
He is just next level on all that stuff.
The guy has written thousands of IULs.
Right.
Thousands of IULs. He has written one term policy.
All right.
I'll go down the hall and I'll often want to ask him a tricky question we get from the field on a term policy, and he has to remind me he has zero clue.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But he can walk you down an annuity, a DFL, or an IUL like nobody's business.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I tell you what, let's mute and veil because we have a fun video.
Nice.
From our crew.
So who's ready to go make some dials? Yeah! All right. Here you go.
Hey there, little buddy. You want to come make some dials with the rest of the gang?
I'm just kind of feeling a little uncertain.
Oh, don't worry about failure. That's all just part of the process.
No, it's not that. I don't know. I feel kind of embarrassed.
You're worried about control problems, aren't you?
I'm just not feeling very confident.
Let me let you in on a little secret. A new agent's best friend, slingshot shorts.
Slingshot shorts?
Slingshot shorts.
Slingshot shorts. Do they work?
Oh, absolutely they work. You can cram as much activity as possible into a day and never have to worry about any little unfortunate accidents.
That's amazing. How do you know so much about slingshot shorts?
Oh, well, I'm actually wearing some right now, and I just did.
Each pair of slingshot shorts holds up to 3 pounds of liquid. That's 10% more than all other competitors with similar products combined, giving you the confidence to slingshot right through your first 3 promotions in record time. Slingshot shorts.
I slingshot myself. I kind of liked it.
I slingshot myself, and you should too.
Oops, I slingshot myself for 3 months straight. I didn't feel a thing.
Did you just slingshot yourself?
I slingshot myself while I was still at my day job part-time. And my boss never had a clue.
Oh man, that was the first video we've chopped up in a little while.
Yeah, we need to do another one. Not slingshot.
Planning on it.
Yeah, we're gonna have another video. I think this is a good opportunity for everyone in the Q&A. If you have a brilliant idea for a Symmetry commercial or Quility commercial, let us know the premise, and if we like it, we'll give you not production credit, but credit.
Yeah.
Like if
Creative
you were a
credit,
producer.
whatever it is.
That's what I mean. Like executive producer credits.
Yeah.
Those are important.
I love
I don't know. I don't know if I need any more days in the office with you and Casey walking back and forth in front of my glass doors with nothing but depends on.
That's right. Yeah.
It's great.
The problem, man.
Looking at all these. All right,
My
come on.
slingshot shorts.
We need some really good ideas here for videos. We've got a bank of good ideas. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Let's see here. All right, we'll have to come back to these.
I know. There's some good ones. Some really good ones.
That's a good Quigley tagline. Get the point. That's got some heat to it. That could be incorporated.
Yes.
Great commercial. I'll get us kicked off, guys. So we've talked about next Thursday, there'll be a directs only call. And the agent success team is going to get an invite out to all of the directs. And as you will know, guys, one of the things that we continue to love about this company and the way that they honor and value so much everything that distribution does and continues to do was through the ears gifts that were recently issued. And so that call next Thursday will be an opportunity for the directs to hear directly from Mark Palmer to talk about how those ears were gifted this year. Also, by close of business today, the directs will be receiving a list of all the agents in their organizations that were to receive those ear gifts for the qualifying year of 2021. Key thing to remember there, this was from 2021. And the directs will have that list. So if you've been curious, you'll be able to reach out to your direct starting tomorrow. And for all of you directs out there, make sure you're checking your email for the rest of the day and you will have that list. And then, Brandon and Casey, I know it's been an exciting first 3 rounds of seeing these be gifted out, seeing it on social media, the excitement, how cool it is to be a part of something that quite frankly is just unheard of in today's market for a company to give away 20% of its ownership to the actual agents and the distribution out there that is making it possible, along with the home office behind the scenes. And just continue to want to share my gratitude to both of you. And I get the opportunity to come over next door and share some of the excitement and some of the agent's response when they receive these in the mail. And it's overwhelming, and it just speaks to the culture that you guys have created. And just on behalf of myself and all the agents out there, let me say thank you.
Well, thank you, buddy.
Yeah, it's been a good few years since we rolled that out. A great source of fuel, a really just good accelerant for the company to bring all of you, as many as we could, with us as we grow this thing from what we set the floor at a few years ago as far as overall value goes to what the value is now is probably at least triple what we started at. It's hard to say with the market changing and all kinds of stuff, but the company is far more valuable right now to the industry and to the market than it was when we started this, Quility 2.0 stuff, kind of in the range of the pandemic. And for all of you out there that, may have not got any ears, if you're brand new, even joining the company and you're kind of thinking like, I missed the boat, just remember, the ears really are a cherry on top of the actual company and what you get from a commission standpoint, the structure, the bonus, the passive income. I mean, all of that stuff is the kind of meat and potatoes of what we do, or should I say the Sunday of what we do. The cherry is, for all of you that got the ears, is that cherry on top, a little something extra as a gift to say, thank you for helping us, grow this company. But understand that also for those of you who did not get ears or who are fairly new, we're always looking for ways, especially as we're, searching for some capital partners, to take this company from where it is right now to over the next 3 years, 3 times its size, 4 or 5 times its size. We truly believe the stuff we are working on behind the scenes is going to continue to accelerate the growth of this company. So everyone should understand that the same reason why we wanted to do the ears in the first place is the same reason we're going to continue looking for that extra little cherry on top for everyone along the way, that's helping the company go from this new foundation that we're at, this new level, up another 3 to 4 stories. So, just give us some time. We're always working on the extra fuel source, though. Don't feel like you missed out on it, and you still got the meat and potatoes for sure. And those are continuing to get really good.
Yes. And I'm sorry, I've just been so into everything I'm seeing in the chat. Make sure that you guys didn't say this, but we're also in the first quarter of the year, the ability to juice your ears, right? You guys didn't mention that.
Well, we did not mention that, but yes.
I mean, I know I'm telling myself we're not paying attention as closely as I should have, but I was just
enamored by these commercial ideas, right?
Yeah, I love good commercial ideas. It's really good.
That's right. So, Spivey, where are we with the main things to juice that? The juice those.
Had a good conversation with Palmer yesterday. Spivey, I think you were involved in that as well. That as a pretext, you can't earn ears if you didn't earn them by the end of last year. This is not a first quarter where you can get into the pool. You also can't fall out of the pool. It's just a way to juice your credits that you already have. And we're going to make it as simple as possible. It's just all about recruiting. Same thing with APV, looking at APV and growth, recruiting, onboarding, SNAs. Am I missing anything, Spivey?
Nope. That's it.
We wanted to do resets. Maybe it's a little early for that, although some agents are starting to absolutely kill it on the reset side. So congratulations on that. Even people that have kind of slimmed it down a little bit, but this is an opportunity for you to kind of level up. And we've done this in the past, and you can actually move up a little bit with some of these things. So get after it. Start getting your recruiting systems going. So Spivey, you were also wanting to talk a little bit about an update on pilot
Flight of the Navigator. Got Ditson over there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ditson, if you'll come on and join us, buddy, we had a overwhelming response of people that raised their hand and wanted to be a part of the Flight of the Navigator pilot that's ongoing with our new product with LGA that's going to be released here very, very shortly. In a few short weeks, it'll be here before we know it, Ditson. But I know you've been behind the scenes helping us, and when you have 1,000 people raise their hands and volunteer to be a part of a pilot, it's tricky to get only 100 going in the next step. So where are we at, and what can folks expect, buddy?
Yeah, that was a little bit of a challenge, right? So we did identify the 100 that are onboarding currently, everybody that was accepted. And of course, the folks that didn't quite make this round were sent an email. Those emails were all sent out last week, or excuse me, beginning of this week. So we wanted to make sure that we did connect with everybody and let you know your status. For all of those that were accepted to this second phase of the pilot, you will receive your contracting link by Friday. So keep an eye out in your emails, look at your spam and junk folders as well, because we know sometimes they slip into those little folders, but things are looking great. We've got a good group on board right now. We've had a lot of successes. We're getting a lot of great feedback, and we're excited to get the next 100 on board.
Nice.
Love it. Love it. Love it. We got one right around the corner too, right?
We do. We had a little accidental death, right? Add on to the QLT product, and then we'll be rolling in on an FE product. So
a
lot of great things coming.
Yes. Thank you for that. And I would just like to take a minute to talk about the idea behind piloting and how grateful we are for people that that help us with these pilots. The point of a pilot is that we're trying to find cracks. We're trying to find the problems. You know what I mean? Like we're hopeful that it goes smoothly, but we're trying to break the sucker so that we can go big with it. And when you're dealing with insurance companies that aren't necessarily accustomed to that, that can certainly happen sometimes. And so the people that have jumped in, that have helped us, we know who you are. We really appreciate just how much effort, work, and trust goes into it. And I would just encourage everyone else to try to have that mindset about things. The path to transformation it's bumpy, it's rocky. We had a good conversation with the sales heads the other day about this. Like our goal is to continue to try to break it and improve it, find ways, not necessarily break it, but find ways to crack it and patch it, crack it and fix it. And I think we're just so grateful that we have an organization of agents that are willing to kind of jump on that ride with us and know that it's not going to be perfect, but it is far better than where we were a year ago, far better than certainly where we were 2 or 3 years ago. And I think far better than what we're seeing anywhere else out there in the industry. One of the big things that we're working on kind of behind the scenes with the advisory board now is updates and changes that are coming to the onboarding and contracting systems. So you can look forward to that one. But there's so many things that we're working on behind the scenes that we're excited about. Casey, I think Flight of the Navigator is one of them. But every time we turn around, we get really excited about another piece to the puzzle, be it production, be it recruiting, be it onboarding. What would you like to tell everybody else out there? We got maybe 4 or 5 more minutes, and we can look if there's any questions in the chat that we might want to hit on. But
I think it's a good way to wrap it up. I mean, we have a 2 o'clock meeting we got to get on anyways. But I think what you just said about the transformation, we've thrown a lot at you guys over the last year. Sitting in the 170-degree sauna this morning with Cicely, and we were just talking about all the things that the economy, the market has kind of thrown at the industry, and to see where we are now as a company is just it speaks to the culture that we have. It speaks to the team that we have, both you guys, the leadership, the advisory board, but also the internal team and the new people in the mix behind the scenes that are continuing to, we're hiring these subject matter experts, and we're plucking people from Amazon and from Google and from, big companies. And these are experts in their field, whether it be leads or data or software, that kind of thing, application. So, you just said the transformation is bumpy, but it's worth it. What took us 10 years to do as a company, from just an overall value of our company, what took us 10 years to do in what we would probably consider very calm, stable, predictable waters, right, Brandon? I mean, we went through some little recessions and things like that. But everything was just like, yep, this is how you do it. You get a lead, here's the script, here's the product. It was like pretty paved road for the most part after the first year or two of trailblazing, Yeah. And then you look at what's happened over the last 2 or 3 years with this transformation, the bumpy roads, the curves, all of that stuff, as we adapt to the market conditions, as we adapt to the transformational aspects of our business with all of you guys. Again, we've at the very least doubled the value and the size of our company in 3 years of that bumpy road. So what took us 10 years to do in calm waters, we've done in 2 or 3 years in some rough waters, So that's what we've been saying for a while now. It's bumpy and you got to hang on tight for it, but it's certainly worth it. It's where all the money is, and that's what the market's looking for. They're looking for companies like us that can navigate waters, and be the tip of the spear when it comes to how we're changing an industry. So, Sweet spot to be in.
One thing, if there is one thing that you would like to see more people kind of work on, look at, manage better, is there anything that people can take away from this call? I've got thoughts. I'd love to hear yours, and then we can kind of close it down with that. But
I'd like to hear your thoughts since you got one in the chamber.
Sure. I mean, to me, it's all about how are you improving your processes around recruiting. Are you putting as much of a focus on bringing in new people as you are to bringing on applications? And if you're someone that doesn't necessarily want to build an organization or recruit, then what is your process or game plan for growing your distribution? Both of those things have a very clear path to growth, but I think you've got to put the focus and be intentional around it. We've seen some great examples of people that have sold out to recruiting, and in doing so have doubled, tripled the sizes of their companies over the past 2 or 3 years as well. I look at fresh on my mind because we've been talking to him a lot, Chris Cook. I look at Ziller. I look at Jamie Susie and Sarah Reinecke, both of them. And I know that there are a ton more people out there, but I think that the people over the next year and coming years that really focus on honing in that process of how I'm just increasing my code numbers and increasing my leads under management. Those two things, anything else you're doing that takes away from those two things is clutter. It could be a waste of time. If you're not focusing on growing distribution, you grow distribution by increasing your new agents, new writers, and managing your leads. Those are the two things. And I think when you dumb it down to make it just that simple, and dumbing it down is not really a good way to kind of look at it, but when you really do make
Sometimes
it,
you do have to dumb it down.
Sometimes you do have to dumb it down. Make it that simple and watch what happens. It's impossible to not have massive growth if you're a double digit, if you're in the 2020 club as an agency owner and you're wondering, like, I've been hanging out here for too long, wherever you are, if you've been hanging out for too long, there's a simple fix. And that simple fix is I got to focus on two things. Depending on what I want, I may only have to focus on one, right? But if I'm not growing distribution through code numbers and leads, then I really need to be rethinking my plan. And I don't do that only in depth, talking to the leaders. We do that in width. We do that by bringing in people direct to us, by building a base shop. So,
and we do it consistently. That's the other thing.
Every week
in, week out. And sometimes you're going to have a bad week, but it's a 4-quarter game. So look at that month. Say it's 4-week month. Like I have my targets every month, and I have to hit. I'm going to have X amount of personal production. That is the cash flow that fuels my agency building.
Yeah.
And that's where Brandon's numbers come in with the recruiting and leads under management. So it really is, as we started the call, it's even though we've navigated some rough waters, it's that component, the predictability of the numbers and how you just kind of, it's like baking a cake. You just put the right ingredients and the right measurement in, and you'll get a cake. But you got to put the work in. So did just want to mention before we wrap, Social Q updates next week. That is a pilot program. Again, thank you to all of you guys who are wanting to be part of that pilot. We want to get it right. So we've slowed what we feel like will be the rollout of the pilot a little bit, but all systems go behind the scenes on Social Q. So if you want to learn how to generate leads, generate recruiting leads, generate sales through social media, Social Q is going to be the thing. And it's going to be QB'd by our very own Tyler Harris. So very excited about that program. Updates on that on next week's National Call. Brandon and I and a handful of others are going to be in Punta Mita this week with foresters.
Right. Going to Mexico.
So
it's another reason
we get back
to grow your code numbers and grow your production, because you get to go to all these amazing trips. I can't wait to
another
see
reason
to be there. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of people there too, because we are by far and away Forrester's biggest organization. So it'll almost look like a Symmetry event over there.
I love it. I love it. We got some other good trips to announce.
Yes,
next
hopefully
week, right?
next week, I think, is what I'm shooting for.
Let's do it.
It could be 2 weeks, but just know that you are in the beginning stages of an SBLI contest. A lot of people won Banff.
Can't
The
wait.
advisory board actually helped us pick the next location out, which is why it's dragged a little bit. But
Yep.
So we're excited to announce that next week.
It's gonna be fun.
Already playing. Go set yourself a record for the week. For the love of God, quit talking about it and go do it.
Go get it, guys.
Go get them. See ya.
Y'all have a good week.